Welcome to the documentary channel. There's a secret organization deep underground, a place where morality is a fluid concept, and reality is bound with barbed wire and stuffed into boxes. Welcome to the SCP Foundation, a place where creatures, objects, and ideas are so dangerous that sometimes the very existence of the idea is a crime. In the next few minutes you'll see things that will keep you up at night. This is a group therapy session for anyone who's read too many red files smeared with blood. Not because they're scary, but because you're not sure they're real. This isn't a fun top 10 list. I'm your host. I'm not sober, but I'm sober enough to tell you things no one should know. Here it is. SCP Foundation Secrets Explained. SCP-096 is a pale humanoid creature that annihilates anyone who sees its face, even in a photo. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked into the abyss and felt it scream back at you with the raw, howling terror of infinite regret? That's what looking at SCP-096's face is like. Except it's not your regret, it's your obituary. Known affectionately in nightmare circles as the Shy Guy. This tall, emaciated sack of emotional trauma is the closest thing the SCP Foundation has to an automated meat shredder. You don't even have to meet it. You don't even have to know you saw it. Look at a satellite photo that happened to capture its face 3 pixels wide. Oh, too late. Then it calms down, sits back down, and starts sobbing again. It doesn't want to kill you. It has to, and there is no cure, no therapy, no redaction, only red. You're red, it's already sprinting toward you at speeds that make cheetahs look like they're buffering, and don't even try hiding. SCP-173 is what happens when cursed rebar and spite are given sentience and told to play red light, green light with your cervical spine. Always in the corner, waiting, watching you watch it. And the moment you're not, snap like a haunted nutcracker on meth. And feces like it as redecorating for a serial killer s. Open house. No origin. No purpose. Just vibes. Murderous, stinky vibes. It's not clear if it poops out of rage or joy, but honestly, the fact that it poops at all is already a war crime. It is the physical manifestation of I hate you with a PhD in how to survive literally anything. It's locked in here with us. For now it adapts. SCP-049, an affliction only he can detect and only he can fix. His fix: touch your face, kill you instantly, then perform a surgery using tools from the Dark Ages like a demented Dr. Phil with a scalpel. He's convinced his methods are humane. He even gets offended if you question his ethics. The last time someone called a skewer's butchery, he quietly murdered them. Very professional. 49 is what happens when empathy rots, when compassion curdles, when the Hippocratic Oath is interpreted by someone who thinks leeches and lobotomies are just a warm-up, and revive you as a shambling husk who drools and groans like a sleep-deprived zombie extra. Cultured, a Renaissance era drama, completely mundane on paper except for one problem. When it's performed, people start losing their goddamn minds, polite, soft-spoken. And the worst part, the more people read about it, the more likely it is to be performed again. And absolutely, brain-meltingly, irreparably insane. The SCP Foundation didn't lock it up in a cell, they tried to erase it from history. Because once the script gets inside your head, it doesn't leave quietly. You shoot it with anti-tank rounds. It grows armor. You teleport it into the sun. It comes back angrier, and with notes on your performance. This thing doesn't want to live. It wants to win. This isn't just madness, it's obsession wrapped in civility and sealed with delusion against existence. The fact that it needs to be watched at all times by at least 3 people means it basically weaponizes your own attention span. God help you if you're a DD. It doesn't care if you're in a submarine, the Mariana Trench, or buried under 5 miles of shame. It will find you. The director insists this is fine, even as students begin whispering in dead languages and blood starts leaking through the stage floor. Then comes the finale. Full-blown ritual, homicide, usually involving a noose, a monologue, and applause no one remembers clapping. It's like if Michael Myers got therapy, then relapsed hard. There's no negotiation, no mercy, no second chances. SCP-096 will scream, sob, and rip your limbs off like it's opening a sad Christmas present, like some horrific Greek tragedy about privacy violations. 96 is a walking metaphor for anxiety. It can't cope with being seen. They've thrown other SCPs at it like in a demonic battle royale. Nothing works. Even SCP-96. Yeah, the Fistrigard murder engine. They've once tried 6ing that thing on 682, and even that fight ended in... It's like watching 2 apocalypses slap fight for dominance. But the only way it knows how to process that is through absolute annihilation. Just pure blindfolded, grief-fueled homicide. Modern surveillance makes him basically a walking apocalypse waiting for a Google Maps accident. Not metaphorically, not passively, with a burning, frothing rage so intense it once tried to kill another SCP mid-experiment just because it was breathing nearby. One day it's going to figure out how to file taxes and sue the planet. That's all just a blink and then crack, you're dead. That fast this thing moves, like it's allergic to physics, like it was built by a sadistic mime with a god complex. SCP-173 is a concrete statue that moves faster than light when unobserved and snaps your neck without warning. Oh, this one. This absolute piece of eldritch IKEA furniture. Picture it, you're in a room with it, you blink. But here's the real horror. 173 doesn't have muscles, or joints, or logic. It's just ... there. They keep it in a cell, covered in filth, literal filth, because it leaves behind a foul mix of blood. And here's the twist. Nobody knows what it is. SCP-682 is a hyper-intelligent, hate-fueled, regenerating reptilian monster that refuses to die. SCP-682 is the Foundation's absolute worst stay that never ends. You drop it and ask, imagine God created a dinosaur and immediately said, oh no, no. That's 682. It hates all life. The Foundation has tried everything, and the worst part, it learns, it talks, it mocks, it adapts not just biologically, but psychologically. 682 is the SCP equivalent of the sentence, we read not locked in here with it. SCP-049 is a plague doctor who believes everyone is sick and wants to cure them by turning them into zombies. Ah yes, the good doctor. Dressed like a 14th century plague doctor complete with bird mask and robes, 049 Docent T just looked the part. He believes he is curing people of the pestilence. He calls them cured. They call it hell. Here's the kicker, he's not malicious. He truly, deeply believes he's helping. But the tragedy, he's lonely. He talks to his zombie patients like their colleagues. He writes in journals. He mourns failures. He's a villain, yes, but he's also heartbreaking. SCP-701 is a cursed play that causes mass hysteria, hallucinations, and ritualistic murder if performed. SCP-701 is theater for people who think Macbeth wasn't cursed enough. It's called The Hanged King's Tragedy. Lines begin to change mid. Characters no one remembers casting show up in costume. By the time the curtain falls, at least one person is dead and nobody remembers how the script ended. This is art as a weapon. Culture is contagion. The idea that some stories are too toxic to tell, too haunted to hear, too cursed to interpret without consequences. 701 is not a monster. It's a concept that bites back. A meme with a body count. This isn't Shakespeare. This is psychological warfare with footnote. SCP-055 is an anti-meme and information anomaly that erases itself from your memory the moment you learn anything about it. Let's get one thing straight. SCP-055 does not exist. No, seriously, it's not a joke. That's the joke. Imagine trying to study a ghost that erases your memory of it the second you acknowledge it. Every time someone tries to write down what SCP-055 is, the file ends up looking like a goddamn blackout poem. Where have I been for the last 6 hours? Why is there blood on my pen? Why is my keyboard melting? What is SCP-055? Nobody knows. Why don't they know? Because they can't. Hell, it could be a nuclear bomb or an interdimensional clown or both, but no one can remember. Because every time they try, their neurons trip over themselves like a Lovecraftian sitcom. You forget that you forgot. Researchers walk out of its containment room with full reports, sit down to type, and suddenly go, wait. It's like the SCP Foundation locked up the concept of gaslighting itself. It's the world's most aggressive tabula rasa. SCP-16 aka the Old Man doesn't just walk through walls. Victims who return, if they return, come back as whispering, gibbering wrecks with half their bones in the wrong places and all their sanity in the trash. He rots through them, leaving behind a sludge so caustic it dissolves steel. They dangle some poor soul in a box, let the Old Man wander in, then slam the door shut behind him like it's some cursed Tom and Jerry trap. Just the slow, agonizing certainty that if you hear that sludgy creaking sound behind you, it's already too late. He toys with people. He savors them. A glitch in the fabric of reality where time bleeds and light dies and you never, ever get out. Take a deep breath. Now imagine that breath never ends. The next he slips into SCP-3001. An infinite, blood-red nothingness where the laws of physics decided to go on strike. Pain isn't a side effect, it's the point. He's basically a war crime with arthritis for 2 centuries, and his body slowly deteriorated, a whisper between atoms. It's the raw footage of human loneliness stretched across eternity, bit by bit, like a meat sculpture dissolving in gelatin. His voice weakened, his mind frayed. He started recording logs, thousands of them, talking to himself. It's the worst because it doesn't. It keeps you alive, decaying, suspended in unending silence while you remember what touch felt like, what being known felt like, begging, apologizing, dreaming about his wife, trying to stay sane in a place where sanity doesn't echo. He emerges from shadows, from ceilings, from the floor like an oil spill with a vendetta, and when he grabs you, it's not for a stern lecture or a Werther's original. You could be staring directly at it, measuring it, talking about it, and the moment your attention slips, your brain shoves it down the memory hole like a traumatized librarian. No smells, no gravity, no hope, just drifting, forever. And oh, yet might not even be safe. It could be actively manipulating the Foundation. SCP-055 is not just a threat. It's a philosophical sledgehammer, proof that knowing is not just power, it's also vulnerability. And this one, it pulls the plug before you even realize the light was on. Now you're talking about SCP-006. SCP is an elderly humanoid that corrodes everything it touches and drags victims into a hellish pocket dimension for fun. What's the worst grandpa you can imagine? Cronky sure smells like mothballs. Probably melts through walls like acid-soaked regret and harvests human suffering like an S-plane Animal Crossing in hell. This is not just old age. This is entropy with a personality. Nope. He drags you screaming into a dimension that looks like someone tried to make Silent Hill inside a rotting lung. He doesn't kill quickly. The Foundation doesn't contain 106. They bait him usually with a live human being. There's no cure, no logic, no bargaining. SCP-3001 is a vast, empty, non-space dimension where one man was accidentally trapped for over 200 years, conscious the entire time. Okay, SCP-3001 is not a monster. It's a place of void. Dr. Robert Scranton was just another guy working with the Foundation. 1 minute he's adjusting a reality stabilizer. No sounds, but he didn't die. Oh no, that would be too kind. He lived consciously. Every file from 3001 reads like a suicide note written in slow motion. It's not the worst SCP because it kills you. And the final punch, he died a few months before the Foundation could retrieve him. His body, what was left, faded into the void. A ghost in a glitch. SCP-3001 isn't a monster. SCP-231 is a woman perpetually held in containment, undergoing daily rituals to prevent the birth of an entity that could end the world. Don't read this one if you're already sad. SCP-231 is what happens when horror stops pretending to be fun. She's called SCP-231-7, the last survivor of 7. The rest dead, or worse. And her job, if you can call it that, is to suffer, because if she doesn't, the world ends. SCP-231 is terrifying because of what's done to her. They call it Procedure 1. No one outside the top brass knows exactly what it involves. All redacted, all classified. What we do know is that it has to happen every single day, without fail. And if it ever stops, she gives birth to something so apocalyptic the Foundation would rather torture a girl for the rest of her life than risk its arrival. She is the living embodiment of a terrible trait. One girl, S. Endless agony in exchange for humanity, S. Survival. Every other SCP is terrifying because of what they do. She doesn't speak anymore, doesn't react, her mind is likely gone. Is it right? Is it necessary? Is it even working? Those questions haunt the Foundation, and they should haunt you too. SCP-093 is a red disk that lets you travel to parallel Earths, each one more horrifying than the last. Cults. It's not just a window, it's a warning. You might see yourself. Technology made from flesh. Obelisks that whisper your name in reverse. And finally, let's talk about mirrors. SCP-093 looks harmless dust. A red, polished disk. But the moment you touch it while standing near a reflective surface, you vanish. You're gone. But remember, if one day you see a statue standing still, and the next time it gets closer it's too late. Every poor soul sent in wears a body cam. And what we see, well, let's just say Netflix isn't licensing this one. We'll keep your secrets. Another version of Earth. Earth swears something, some entity, some horror. Another had a Foundation facility where the humans were the anomalies, the common thread. Whatever happened in these worlds, it started the same way it's starting in ours. Not a better one. Not a cool sci-fi utopia with flying cars and sex robots. No, these are dead Earths, dying Earths. SCP-093 doesn't just take you to these places. It records your journey. There are ruined cities with no people. Just echoes. underground facilities filled with mutated corpses. One Earth had giant crucifixes made of bone. SCP-093 is a glimpse at failure, at where we're headed if we slip. Don't look too long. And those are 10 secrets, or at least 10 hints about the organized madness. That is the SCP Foundation. If you're feeling a little deranged, have a headache, or are wondering why every mirror in your house is suspicious, now congrats. You've got the right spirit of the video. We can't say whether any of this is real or not. Subscribe to the documentary channel to continue sliding down the rabbit hole, where logic is a joke and reality is a signed contract you didn't read. Don't worry.